Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
I met Adrian at a teaching seminar, a widower with a laugh like sunlight. I was drawn to his warmth, and he was attracted by me and my daughter Leila. He'd adopted her 6 months into our marriage. No fanfare, just quiet devotion. She was his, legally and in spirit. But to his mother Charlotte, Leila was a stain. At first, I mistook it for awkwardness. Charlotte gave Leila plastic bracelets when others received gold. Christmas cards addressed to the family always listed us, minus Leila. When we moved into the city, she mailed Adrian a letter. Please consider the impact on the bloodline. We laughed bitterly then, but the truth was painful. One year, Charlotte threw a birthday lunch for Adrian's nephew. Every grandchild was called up to blow out candles, except Leila. Adrian asked about it later. She's not part of our story, Charlotte replied, sipping her wine. Adrian seethed in silence. She's my daughter. That makes her yours granddaughter too. Charlotte smiled faintly. Let's not pretend biology is optional. After that, Adrian began drafting something. I saw him working late at night. Letters, documents, photos. When I asked, he just said, "If this escalates, I want the facts on our side." Still, he hoped it wouldn't come to that. We all did. But Charlotte's cruelty only evolved. On Thanksgiving, she skipped Leila's name during grace. At Easter, she gave every child chocolate eggs except Leila, who received a plastic whistle. Adrian said nothing. Leila said less, but the silence thickened. By Christmas Eve, the red box had been packed. The envelope inside bore Charlotte's name. Adrian handed it to Leila that night. If she crosses the line again, you give this to her. The living room sparkled with curated perfection. Polished ornaments, spotless cushions, and the unmistakable scent of cinnamon oil diffusers. Charlotte always made holidays look like catalog spreads. Yet this Christmas, something felt colder than the snow frosting the windows. Charlotte sat regally by the fireplace, sipping white wine from a crystal glass, smiling her tight-lipped smile as her real grandchildren unwrapped gifts that cost more than my monthly salary. A VR headset, a racing drone, a gold locket with her initials engraved. Adrian's biological nieces and nephews squealed with delight over high-end gadgets. Charlotte clapped with feigned modesty. Then came Leila's turn. She reached into her gift bag and found a postcard. She turned it over. No glitter, no warmth. Just block letters scrawled in blue ink. To the girl who is not my family, Merry Christmas. Her face remained still, too still for an 8-year-old. Adrian saw it. I saw it. The room fell quiet. Charlotte dabbed her mouth with a napkin. Well, some of us appreciate simple things. Leila stood without a word and walked out of the room. Adrian followed instantly. I excused myself and found them both upstairs. Leila was on the edge of the bed, fists clenched over something. Adrian knelt. Did she go too far? She always does, Leila whispered. Can I give her the box now? My breath caught. The red box, prepared months ago by Adrian, sealed, waiting for a moment he hoped would never come. You sure? He asked. Leila nodded. She wants to remind me I don't belong. I want to remind her that I do. Adrian looked at me. I nodded. Tomorrow, he told her softly. Christmas brunch. Let her unwrap the truth. Christmas brunch had all the makings of tradition. Eggnog in crystal glasses, silverware that weighed like gilt, and Charlotte presiding like a monarch in velvet red. Leila sat between us in her yellow dress. She didn't fidget, didn't speak, just watched, hands tucked neatly in her lap. The red box sat beneath the table, hidden beside her boots. Charlotte launched into a toast about legacy and values that bind bloodlines. Leila's shoulders stiffened. Adrian placed his hand over hers. She nodded. Then Charlotte called the grandchildren forward, handing out embroidered sweaters and gift cards in order of birth. Leila, she said finally, handing over a second postcard. Leila opened it. You're welcome for being included. Adrian's fist clenched. I drew a sharp breath. Leila stood. I have something for you. She reached under the table, retrieved the box, and walked up to Charlotte, holding it like an offering. But her face was calm, beyond emotion. This is for my dad, she said, for when you forgot I was his daughter. Charlotte frowned, eyes narrowing. What is this? Some sort of joke? Leila didn't flinch. It's not funny. And with that, she returned to her seat. The box sat untouched in Charlotte's lap, red and quiet as a wound. There was a brief, flickering pause before Charlotte accepted the gift. Her nails, red as cranberries, delicately peeled back the wrapping. She opened the lid and froze. Inside lay a letter, legal, dated, signed, Adrian's formal declaration of Layla's adoption. Underneath it, a photo. The three of us at a pumpkin patch, Layla laughing on Adrian's shoulders. And finally, a handwritten note. If she is invisible to you, then perhaps you no longer see me either. Charlotte gasped. What is this, some theatrical stunt? Adrian stood. It's called truth. You've ignored, erased, and insulted my daughter for years. But she's not just mine. She is part of this family whether you accept her or not. She looked at him, lips trembling. You did this behind my back. No, Adrian said evenly. I did it in front of my daughter. The table had fallen silent, tension stretching so tight it could snap. Leela stood tall beside her grandmother, eyes wide but unwavering. Charlotte's hands began to shake. You humiliated me. On Christmas. You did that yourself, I said, my voice firmer than I expected. That postcard. It was the final cruelty. She shot up from her chair, the letter clutched like a threat. She's not my blood. I have every right to. No, you don't, Adrian cut in, standing. You lost that right the moment you decided biology mattered more than love. Charlotte gasped, breath shallow, eyes darting from face to face, searching for allies and finding none. She turned away, storming down the hallway. A bedroom door slammed. A murmur rippled through the guests. One of Adrian's sisters set her wineglass down with a thud and rose. I'm sorry, she said quietly to Layla. I should have spoken up years ago. Others followed. One uncle clapped Adrian on the back. A cousin knelt to give Layla a real hug. Then Layla whispered, Can we go home now? I nodded. We rose as a family, box and truth delivered. Charlotte's kingdom of appearances cracked that day, and from the fracture, something real finally began to grow. The ride home was silent, but not heavy. Layla rested her head against the car window, her reflection faint beside snow-dusted trees. Adrian drove with one hand, the other resting protectively on my knee. I held it tighter than I had in months. She didn't cry, I whispered. No, Adrian said. She didn't need to. Back at our home, Layla kicked off her shoes and padded into the living room. She picked up her drawing of a family, 3 stick figures holding hands, and added a golden sun above them. That's better, she said with a satisfied nod. Later that evening, as we folded laundry in the bedroom, Adrian finally said it aloud. I'm done pretending, he murmured. If she ever calls again. She won't, I interrupted gently. She broke something she thought would never break. We looked at each other, both exhausted, both relieved. Not angry, just free. Downstairs, Layla sat with a mug of warm milk, legs curled beneath her. She looked up and asked, Do I still have to call her grandma? Adrian knelt beside her. Only if you want to. Layla shook her head. Then I won't. No bitterness. Just a decision. And that was enough. That night, I tucked her in, brushing hair from her forehead. You were brave today. I just told the truth, she said with a yawn, and Daddy gave me the words. Tears prickled behind my eyes. As she drifted off to sleep, Adrian slipped beside me. Outside, snow began to fall again, quiet, steady, cleansing. There were no fireworks, no dramatic farewells. Just 3 people who chose each other over tradition, over appearances, over fear. The illusion was broken. The performance was over. And in its place, we found something soft, something real, a quiet kind of freedom. Weeks passed, and Charlotte's silence lingered like a locked door. We didn't chase her. For once, we chose peace over performance. Then, one gray February morning, a small envelope arrived. No handwriting, just Charlotte's return address in careful print. Inside was a photo, faded, creased. Adrian as a toddler, sitting on Charlotte's lap, beaming. On the back, I forgot what this felt like. Beneath it, a short note. I won't ask forgiveness I haven't earned, but if there's still a seat left at your table, I'd like to learn how to deserve it. She never said sorry. But for Charlotte, asking to learn was louder than apology. We didn't reply right away. Leela read the note in silence, then tucked it into her journal. She didn't smile, But she didn't tear it up either. Healing doesn't always arrive with applause. Sometimes it arrives as a whisper, late, flawed, but finally willing. And sometimes that's where redemption begins.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.